Hi, friends. Rebecca McLean for the Circle of Life Coaching. Today, I want to talk about a couple things. One is the difference between a resolution, an intention, and a goal. And why do resolutions fail? And why do soulful intentions get fulfilled? So, a resolution, people have resolutions, and they found that, decades of study and research have shown that by February 15th, 80% of people have dropped their resolutions. They've just gone back to their old habits. And then by the end of the year, only 8% of people have fulfilled or done their resolutions or fulfilled their goals. And the reason why is because the word resolution comes from resolving. So you're starting out with something that you're trying to fix. There's something wrong with you that you need to resolve. So that energy creates resistance because it doesn't feel good. It's about you're not enough. There's something wrong with you. Whereas an intention, that's where the aliveness comes from. That's where the inspiration comes from. That's where we really tune into what we want to be, experience, fulfill. And we're really looking to fulfill our destiny, who we truly are. And I was looking at this acorn that I have on my altar, and this acorn is designed to be an oak tree. And it doesn't matter what else it wants to be. It's not going to be a palm tree. It's going to be an oak tree. And it needs to be in the environment where it can really get those deep roots and start to grow into a big, strong, beautiful tree. And we each have our own unique seed of intention, the seed of who we truly are, that how we're really uniquely designed to express in this world. So when we look at our intentions, those are more about intention inside source energy, whether you call that God or infinite intelligence or the universe or whatever your name is for the source that this is really coming from. Your intentions are from who you truly are, not what you're trying to prove, to other people or trying to do to accept yourself. This is already you, and you're just uncovering it and bringing it in to the environment that supports it to grow and flourish. So that's the difference between a resolution and people that have soulful intentions. There's more energy, there's more chi, there's inspiration. It's supported by greater forces. So when you're setting your New Year's resolutions or goals, first we start with the bigger vision. That's what we do in Circle of Life, is to really have you tap in to what's really deep inside your soul and to create a soulful intention, a best life vision. Then we take that bigger vision and bring it down into a goal. And a goal is very specific, and it's the vision's big and the goal gets smaller. And in about a year, I'll have been a coach for 40 years and been dealing with my own self-coaching for all this time. And so I know what works and what doesn't, based on all that experience. So, what I see with people's goals is sometimes they're unrealistic. And so the mind, the brain goes into overwhelm. And we've seen now with science studying the brain is that when you give it too much to do, it starts kind of shutting down, or you get distracted, or you procrastinate, or you don't think clearly because your brain's overwhelmed. So we want to create goals that are a stretch. We want to stretch because we want to change, but we don't want to make them so big that it's not realistic for us to attain them. And you can have several goals. So again, the bigger vision of who you are, what you really want to experience, be, create, fulfill, bringing it down to a goal that supports that expansion in you in the real world, that you bring it into something smaller and then down into some action steps that are realistic. And so I see that people create goals that they get overwhelmed by them, or they think they can do them and then they don't, and then they feel discouraged. And when you get discouraged, discouraged, you don't have the courage to go for it because it's so big. Now, your vision can be big because it's going to be going on for a long time, but the goals, you want to make it so you're successful. The other thing I see with people is, again, with resolutions, it's really a lot about should and pressure, and it creates anxiety. And we don't manifest from anxiety and pressure. I mean, we might, be able to do a few things, but then we blow out, we exhaust ourselves, we get depressed, anxious, fearful. We're not enjoying our life in the process of our unfoldment. So if you're looking at your goals, like a goal that would be kind of an ego goal would be, I want to lose 30 pounds. And it's based on you want approval from other people, or you feel like you can't go do your next thing until you lose 30 pounds. You don't want to be visible, maybe feel hidden because, oh, well, I have this extra weight, and what are people going to think? And um, whereas a more soulful goal would be, or intention would be, I want my body to reflect my inner radiance, my inner beauty, and see the difference of how that feels. One is like, there's something wrong with you and you're doing it for external reasons. You're trying to get approval. The other one is from you really want to express yourself. You want that beauty that's inside of you, that radiance, that your soul, your spirit to shine and be a reflection on the outside. Has a really different feeling. And when we are feeling beings, and we need to have the feeling connected to the feeling of it, that is really aligned with our whole being. The other thing I see that why things don't work out for people, their goals, one is that they, just expect too much in themselves. They need to break things down to really small action steps and to incorporate mind body self care practices to breathe, move, shift your energy so you can change your states so that you're not just in a default pattern of thinking or just doing things out of habit, that you actually like are conscious. And qigong practices, breathing, movement, visualization, they all help to bring you into conscious awareness, so you're a conscious creator. You're not just creating stuff out of being unconscious, which I've had a lot of unconscious creations, not so good. So anyway, the other part is um, that I really it's really important to me as a coach and in the coach training is that you are compassionate, self-compassionate. So when you're going through a challenge and you're not really handling it well, or you've set the intention or goal to, I want to have a healthy body and I want to lose 25 pounds and I want to have greater health and less inflammation and joint pain and headaches or whatever it is you have. I'm not going to eat sugar. And then you eat a half a bag of chocolate chip cookies or a whole bag. So instead of beating yourself up about it, making yourself bad, I'm going to fail. This is never going to work. I'm just always going to be overweight. I'm never going to be healthy. The messages that we give, I'm not disciplined. Um, Whatever those things that we say, some people even say really mean things like, oh, I hate myself for that, you know, really mean. And it's interesting to listen to what your self talk is when you're experiencing what you feel is a failure. And so instead of beating yourself up and making an identity that you're not going to be successful, is just give yourself some compassion and go, wow, I guess I was just feeling really stressed. and I just grab for the cookies or whatever habit it is that you have that you do as a default, whether it's watching too much TV or Facebook or shopping or whatever it is, that you give yourself compassion and say, wow, that really wasn't aligned with my goal to not eat sugar or to have the health that I really want or to be the fitness level that I want. It really wasn't aligned with that behavior. Instead of making yourself wrong, it was just a behavior. And maybe you felt upset at that time and you didn't know what to do with those feelings. That's usually when we do those kinds of habits as we're feeling angry or sad or kind of depressed or something, and we want to just numb out. We want to push it down. We want to numb it out. We want to have like a little feeling that's different. And through that process, you can learn what are some other ways that I could honor how I feel besides doing the habit that's not really serving me. Do I know ways to be more self compassionate? Do I know practices that really help me to stay focused and more conscious? Do I have the support in my life to make this shift and break through? That's the other thing I see is people don't have support. That's why I'm so into coaching because when we have someone to talk to and to access our own wisdom and look at some other possibilities and have steps to move through our challenges and small steps that we're moving forward, people make those transformations. They have what they need. And just doing it on your own, I've just never really seen that work. And so, self compassion, and we all need so much self compassion right now, more than ever. It's such a challenging time. And we're feeling the collective stress and trauma, and maybe you even had been affected this last couple of years or year and a half with your own traumas or losses. So we can't expect ourselves to be performing or doing incredibly well, just at our best, because it's a really hard time, or maybe you're going through a hard time. Just give yourself compassion and go, what could I do that would be nourishing or nurturing or soothing to me right now? And just even by putting your hand on your heart or touching your hand or your face while you're saying something more compassionate, like, I'm so sorry this is so hard for you. Or I'm sorry you ate that bag of cookies. Um, let's just let's choose something later. Let's not eat a bag of cookies later. Like, what could I do for myself right now so I didn't have to eat another bag? Because when people are beating themselves up about something that they regret they did or didn't do, what happens is it creates more stress hormones. It stresses you out by the way you're being self-critical. And when you're critical of yourself and the stress hormones are firing throughout your system, your tendency to continue to do that same behavior um, is like 95% more likely. So they did studies at Stanford with people that just learned self-compassion. It's a mindfulness practice where they would just take a couple deep breaths and they were trying to change habits, smoking, any kinds of addictions, anything they wanted to change. And they found that it was like 80% more effective than any other kind of program. It's the self compassion. Because when you give yourself self compassion, again, touching your shoulder, your face, your hand, you create oxytocin, which is the feel good chemistry in our body. We get it when we hug someone or we're petting an animal, and we're not getting to do that very much right now. So you can actually activate oxytocin in your own body by just gently touching or stroking your hand. By creating that, you have this good chemistry, and you make a mistake, you go back to like, okay, well, that really wasn't aligned with my goal. So I'm going to look how I can support myself for this afternoon? Or what's some other strategies I could put in place here that would support me so I don't repeat that today or tomorrow? So self-compassion, I'd like to give a whole little webinar video on self-compassion because it's been so key in my life. It's been, I really haven't, I wouldn't have been able to accomplish what I've been able to accomplish or heal what I've been able to heal without self-compassion. So those are a couple of components. So I'm wondering for you, do you feel like you have a soulful intention, a best life vision for yourself this year? And are you giving yourself self compassion, a lot of self compassion, especially now? Do you feel like you're giving yourself self compassion instead of beating yourself up? Well, we're going to be giving a coach training coming up soon. And if you feel like, yeah, I would like to be learning these things and I'd like to be able to help other people fulfill their vision and to be who they truly are and to do it in a compassionate and courageous way to support them step by step. Well, we have the training coming up, and you have to do phase one first, which where you go through the process for yourself. And phase two is live training, which will be happening soon. So if you're interested, if you have any questions or concerns, you want to talk to myself or Roger or Clind or Malik, this is our team, about any questions you have, please contact us and we can let you know all about it. And people that are coaches, they just love doing it because it is compassionate, but it does bring the best out of people. And you are the sacred mirror for your clients and for your groups. You're reflecting back their strengths. You're reflecting back their light. You're reflecting back their vision. You're holding that with them. You're energizing it. You're aligned with it. That's how you're seeing them. And to be seen and held and listened to in that way is really healing medicine. So thank you, and I wish you blessings. Bye for now.